You are listening to the Underhook Show, and for the 50th time, this is Steve and Chris. Chris, we've made it to 50 episodes. Most shows don't last past 3. How you doing, and how you feeling about the milestone?
I'm just happy to be here and talking wrestling with you, man. You know, I'm glad that I randomly was like, hey, man, you want to hit this project up with me? And now we're here, halfway to 100. We're going to be here for 50 more, because wrestling doesn't stop in my brain. So
Wrestling never stops, bro. But yeah, as long as we're still kicking, I look forward to 50 more and many more after that. I know I expressed it like before I knew like I had a planned hiatus, and I just said, like just an hour or two of conversation once a week. It really is beneficial to just, focus on that and not anything else we got going on in our personal lives. So yeah, man, appreciate it as always, and I look forward to this week.
quick little sidebar, it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So this kind of helps me out in that month. So anything that helps with that, I'm greatly for. So hopefully it reaches out to someone out there too and helps them out.
Yeah, talk to your friends, whether it's just bullshit or what, you know what I mean? It's important just to have that conversation about whether it be serious stuff or not, you know what I mean? Just, you don't gotta do this by yourself.
Because where would I be without my friends that send me deathmatch videos in junkyards?
That's a good place to start. I got the live play-by-play in Messenger of Chris watching El Hijo del Fishman versus Maquaro from Junkyard Mania 2024.
Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I've seen like Tournament of Death from Combat Zone. I'm currently in 2006 Combat Zone, so I'm, currently in like the Nick Gage come up. But this is some next level stuff that I've never seen before, and I am locked in. I seen a man get his nose and face shattered by a car hood. I seen him get boxes of glass thrown at him. It's been awesome.
I mean, that match in particular, for those who haven't seen it, it begins with Fishman breaking a pane of glass over Maquaro's head, and then he takes a Death Valley driver onto gravel. Yeah. And that's before they even, not to mention this takes place in a cage. The standout moment for me, which is just genuinely something I've never seen in a wrestling match before, and I don't really know how to word this delicately, but Fishman gets a brick broken over his privates.
Yeah. Oh, he also hits, first, before it gets broken, he hits Maquaro in the chest with it.
And these aren't the AEW gimmick cinder blocks either.
This made a thud. It sounded heavy. That was awesome. And then, the car hood. And this was in a cage, too, by the way.
Yeah, it's also raining, which you couldn't really tell from the video quality.
You couldn't tell it was in a cage either, but there was a cage there. It didn't start in the cage, because no match in Zona starts in the ring. But I'm glad they went outside, because then they got a car hood, and then that was so much fun. The slow motion replay of Zona, shout out to that, because I had to see that over again.
Yeah, dude.
It's been awesome. It's been great. Now I watched them beat like 3, assuming they were just freshly 18 or 19-year-old in the business, beat the shit out of them. So
hey, that's rite of passage in the wrestling business, to get your shit rocked by an old dude. Like, that's just that's historically all the great promotions. That's rite of passage. So
I could say something. When I see New Jack coming out, I know it's time. So, But this guy is awesome. So,
yeah, what's cool about that match too is like we talk about all like this the really messed up violence that transpires, but at the heart of it, it's still like rooted in pro wrestling sensibilities, because that crowd in the junkyard absolutely love Maquaro. So when he does win by escaping the cage, because Fishman don't care about winning, he just wants to hurt you. But Maquaro's like, no, I can actually win this match. And he's cutting a promo with his face busted open. It's like, that's the real shit, dude.
Fishman climbed down the cage at 0.2 speed, because he was not, he wasn't going. I said, man, you could win. Just get out. But he didn't care. He wanted to kill that old man.
Yeah. Awesome match. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Well, and after the match, he took his mask off. Some other stuff started happening. I was like, is this a shoot? I can't tell what's real anymore.
There was a shoot this year. Fishman wasn't involved. Fishman, he hasn't been working the junkyard, I don't think, at all this year, which is disappointing.
I've been trying to look for him, and it's kind of hard. So
he's been working the Crash a lot, which is a promotion.
I know them.
They're
in Mexico too. They're
I don't know what city off the top of my head, so forgive me.
I thought it was Mexico City, but I could be wrong. But I know the Crash though because I know some
Yeah,
AEW talent I think went down there before. Not obviously while they're in AEW.
Andrade was working the Crash during his.
Yeah, that was it. It's like the
The hell,
red.
Kenta worked there like this year.
I just know the logo. It's like a red logo.
The Crash is in Tijuana, and the Crash was notorious for not airing anything, and now they air all their stuff on YouTube. And Fishman's just been working tags in the Crash, but like we want to see the real.
I want to see the real one.
Yeah,
That's the Fishman. I want to see Fishman. You know,
yeah, like dude,
I want to see him hurt somebody with a car hood.
I'm gonna put you on to the Sagrada feud next.
Right?
There's just to give you the short of it. They had like a dog collar match, and Fishman. So they had a dog collar match, but Fishman is so evil that he beats the fuck out of the referee, so where they have to stretcher out the referee, and then he's beating up the referee while he's on the stretcher.
This guy might be my new favorite.
Yeah, the Sagrada matches are awesome because they are like
he reminds me of Super Dragon.
like the Sagrada matches are great too. There's because I mean they're up the same alley as they're a Fishman match, like no question. But because they take place inside and at different venues, and they definitely make use of all the furniture without spoiling too much, because I want you to experience them experience them for yourself.
Just let me know I'm locking.
The one thing I will share though, just to give you the visual, when you're at like at a sporting event or whatever, and they got like those big plastic carts full of like ice water and drinks in them.
Yes.
He throws one of those at his opponent.
Oh, why can't we get this guy on TV? I need him on here. Him and Tori Leona. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Him versus Rouge. Yeah, but yeah, Fishman is amazing.
Yes, he is.
One more thing about the Junkyard specifically, though, which I thought was hilarious. And this is also in 2024. He wrestled Lunatic Extreme a couple of times, and there's one match where they are just they're brawling all over the place as you would expect, right? And like fans are handing them glass bottles and this and that, reckless abandon, bumping on concrete. But the second that they went up to where there was like a band backline, that's where they drew the line. They go, you can't fuck with the amplifiers. Like you could bump on cars, you could stab each other, but the second you touch our backline, that's where that's where it's a no no. Jimmy, yeah. Both of us coming from the music scene, we know understand the reality.
yes, definitely link me to these because I am 100% trying to lock in.
Yeah, the Lunatic Extreme ones from Zona. The Sagrada matches are all on YouTube, which I just have to find the Mas Lucha links, but I will definitely get them your way.
Because I want to say I'm horrible with face because they don't really tell you when you're watching the event their names. There's no name card or anything, so it's hard for me. But I think I've seen Lunatic Extreme before. I want to say he was on one of the shows I watched.
Yeah, there's a match with Demus where they're like, doing all the deathmatch stuff, and Lunatic Extreme just takes a bite out of a light tube.
Hell yeah.
This is God's promotion right here. But I take it that's been your main squeeze over the last week.
Of that, I did watch AAA's main event, the Americano.
Yeah, Americano contra Americano. What did you think? I've been seeing a lot of hype about it, but I have not gotten to it.
I actually enjoyed it, man. I tuned because I wanted to watch it anyway, so I was like, oh, let me lock in. I got to watch it day after because I felt it came out like 9 p.m. our time, so I was sleepy boy. But but that match was actually kind of awesome. Very good storytelling. The ending was good. The crowd loved it. The crowd was over.
They both ran the blade, right?
Yes.
That's fucking beast, dude. Chad Gable should be able to run the blade all the time. He's like,
yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was a good match for each. When you get to
it's like damn, who would have thought Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser could have a really good match if you allow them to?
Yeah, now you have to gimmick them up, which I'm not. I understand like wrestling is different in Mexico because like they care about the storytelling, they don't care about anything else. Like I am assuming, right? Because
the way I would describe it is because again, I've only been watching Lucha for a couple of years compared to everything else, but it's like they're just way more earnest about what's in front of them in the ring. Like
there's like humble about it, man.
Like good guys and bad guys matter a whole lot more because like it seems like in America everybody's in on the bit, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like more real to them down there. It seems.
Yeah, so it's just like it's like way. I can't speak for AAA because I don't think I've watched a full AAA show since the purchase. But just in general, it just feels like it's easier to go into a show there and everybody's way more invested into the natural dynamic of good versus evil. Whereas here, it's, we all know what it is, and it's everybody's kind of winking and nodding the whole time. So it is just a bit more of a pure digestion of what wrestling can be.
It's just really crazy, like how over they are. Like you said, they should be able to do this every time. And, it took them going down here. Honestly, it took them Dominic Mysterio sending Chad Gable to Mexico. Let's not forget that. I don't know if you remember that part. We're locked in. I kind of remember that now. But Chad Gable wanted to beat all the luchadors in WWE when Penta came. So then he got sent to Mexico. That's when he became Americano, and that's where we got here. But hey, Kaiser took it over, and Kaiser's killing it. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it's working for them, good for them. I can't comment on it yet because I just haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of good things.
really entertaining. Me and Josh
Yeah, hell yeah.
checked it out right before we watched a guy get his face smashed with a carpet. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've just been chipping away at 96 ECW and some February stuff from this year, but nothing of note. I did watch a Shane Douglas match that I actually liked, but it was still way too long for what it was. But him and Too Cold from A Matter of Respect. It's a really cool match. I just think it's too long, but like I don't know, it's weird. I feel like there's like one Shane Douglas match a year where I'll be like locked in on, and the rest I've checked out. But
Triple H
anyways,
stole his whole flow, bar for
yeah, he
bar.
did. Yeah, he did, and Shane Douglas was way cooler of a promo.
Hey, okay.
But yeah, he's awesome. He like I refer to him as like one of the best worst wrestlers because like when he's talking shit, it's great. He just always overshoots his match layout, but that's neither here nor there. The here and now is AEW Dynamite from last night. Are you ready to get into it? This is AEW Dynamite from June 3rd, coming from Siegel Center in Richmond, Virginia. And, we're about 3 weeks out from Forbidden Door. Still nothing fully in the cards yet, but I think we do have some groundwork laid out by the end of the show.
They got somewhat of a plan.
Yeah. But we get a cold open with a Roosh promo, which I was kind of shocked by, in all honesty. Like, I know he's wrestling for the world title, but it just felt like a weird way for them to open the show. And, one sec, excuse me. Yeah, so, open with the Roosh promo where MJF steps in and he essentially, instigates by slapping him and running off. So I'm thinking, oh, like, they're just going to cut to ringside and these two are going to be going at it, right? Like, maybe they'd brawl to the ringside and all that. And that's not what happened at all. Proper intro, pyro and all that stuff. And then they get, like, full-on championship match treatment. Both get entrances. They do the boxing introductions. Tell me if I'm wrong, though. Like, what we got in the ring did not translate to, like, what the backstage segment was.
Yeah.
Like, I thought by that point it was going to be on site, and it was not.
It should have been like instantly to start swinging off each other, right? Like Gear 6 brawl kind of thing, but instead it was very an MJF match.
Yeah, which I'm not trying. I mean, I could nitpick, to me, I feel like if you were going to do the whole, like, Matador outfit, I would have just saved it for, like, the first time MJF was on screen. Like, don't even do the backstage stuff. Like, play the mind games, piss Roosh off while you're walking to the ring. You know what I mean?
You think we're getting Hangman back soon?
Well, this was his home state. So I think that's why MJF...
That was the first time they messaged him for a while. So
Yeah, it was. Which, context there is MJF kept cutting off Justin Roberts to deliver messages, one of them including he prevented Hangman Page from challenging for the belt ever again, which I already forgot about that stipulation, just because Hangman hasn't been around. But the match itself, I didn't hate. I thought for MJF, like, let me rephrase that. For the problems I've had with MJF title matches, this kind of cut to the chase, which, good. That's not, like, I told you, Roosh is very much a no bullshit wrestler, despite whatever stuff out off of television he has that's no good. As far as the actual material, he's not that kind of guy. Like, for, like, the overlong, near fall heavy, you know what I mean? Like, MJF bullshit. So, yeah, these two went for it, and they just really put a lot of mustard behind a lot of the strikes, especially like that forearm in the corner and stuff like that. The couple of bullet points I had on this one.
One of mine is hoping we get an LFI reunion in AEW.
Yeah, because I mean, he's been interacting with Andrade a whole lot more.
I'm not mad at it because Andrade's been killing it lately too. So
Oh yeah, Andrade's having a great year. Yeah, so once they got all the grandstanding out of the way and they did get to the bulk of the match, yeah, both guys were bumping like crazy. Especially like MJF taking that table bump with the overhead throw on the outside.
oh yeah, I even said why you're the champion. Stop doing that.
Yeah, well, because they structured it in a way where I'm like,
Well,
if you're gonna do this, oh, go ahead.
I heard he hyperextended his hamstring or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was off one of the more explosive moments like that, or maybe the tombstone on the outside. But yeah, like it felt like I always talk about MJF and his need to be vulnerable in matches like this. And he was really getting away with a lot early. So I'm thinking, okay, Roosh is going to bring him down to earth eventually. And then he did, and it was pretty great. And that's when you got all those like 6 shots in the corner. When Roosh did that tope, I'm so glad he tucked his chin because he really cut that close.
But yeah, there was another thing too. I think it was that same thing you were talking about. That's the pile driver spot
Yeah,
on the
like when they
barricade.
like blew up the barricade. Yeah,
Yeah, something scared me there. So I was like, "Y'all, this is just a Wednesday night. Y'all not gonna go so crazy." I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad they did, but
yeah, because I did have fun with this match. I think for Roosh more than anybody, like it was more of a kind of a reintroduction because he's just been blowing through the roster in squash matches. He has not had the platform to showcase what he's all about, like on at this high of a profile. So I'm glad that they gave that to him, and he gave us everything, man. He gave like the sick cut, a lot of like the delayed headbutt, like on the apron and stuff like that. And I honestly didn't mind a lot of the chicanery between the two because Roosh was registering his babyface to this crowd just because they all hate MJF. But it was very much like they're both trying to take shortcuts and stuff like that because, I mean, they're both heels at the end of the day. And I don't mind Roosh passing out because, like I said,
it doesn't
I'm
make
assuming.
it doesn't make him look weaker or anything. Like,
Yeah, because I feel like the only reason why they haven't put a belt on him is because I feel like he's one of the few wrestlers that is extremely protective of his record, of his win-loss record. So when he does have to lose, I think it's going to be in ways where he is going to look strong. So him passing out, especially after blood loss, like that makes sense to me. I wasn't too like upset with that.
here's a solid opener. It might be my match tonight, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would say there was 3 good matches. I thought like 3 really good matches on this show. This being one of them. So I think if you chose this one, I wouldn't call you crazy.
I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. We'll discuss at the end. Maybe I'll change my mind by then.
Yeah, yeah. But they were zooming through the show, so this
The first hour they said it was limited commercial break, and right when he said it, they took a commercial.
Yeah, minute 45 seconds or whatever. But and I'm glad they stuck the no count out rule on it, just so we didn't have to think about referee's discretion and all that. Even though we did get referee's discretion with the injury fake out. Now it begs the question because when they sent the medical team out there, if that's when he fucked his knee up.
Yeah, true. Because I don't know how true, but he was supposed to wrestle at like Beyond or something, and they said that he hyperextended. He had an injury, so yeah, and he won't be able to make it, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it might have been right there, and they just called an audible, maybe.
Yeah. But this parlayed right into all the Mark Briscoe stuff on the evening.
I love
MJF.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, boss.
I was saying MJF got one over him before the break, but I think that set Mark up for the promo he gave. Or wait, he gave the promo after his match, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting my ducks out of order here.
I do like the lore that
The mannequin challenge.
yeah, if you don't move, Leo Rush can't see you.
Jurassic Park T-Rex style, bro.
I love man, I love this. It took me a
No
second.
sudden movements.
It took me a second, but I'm loving this. And then the minute they started moving, he turned around, they all froze again. I was like, I lost it. I lost my mind. I said, "Oh, this is awesome. This is this."
Yeah, like Kyle was doing a bit more of the wacky like
Yeah.
expressions, but I actually really loved how Orange was selling it.
When I first seen it, I think it was on Collision, or it might have just been on like online or something. But it was an interview. It was Orange, Roddy, and Kyle. And he goes, "Who is that? He's creeping me out." And it was just Leo Rush in there with that umbrella. And then Orange goes, "If you don't move, he can't see you." And then he walks past him, and once Leo Rush walks away, he goes, "I just made that up. I didn't even know if it was gonna work." And they all took off running.
Yeah, dude.
I love the lore. I love it.
I mean, you know how I feel two ways about it because I'm like, one, if this is what gets Leo Rush on TV all the time, cool, because he's still a really good wrestler. But I would still prefer if he wasn't doing Blackheart. At least he's kind of found a sweet spot with it where he's not doing the fucking.
He's not doing the emo stuff. Or not even emo stuff, whatever it was.
He's not having like the Venom symbiote come out of his mouth during matches and shit like that.
He only does that in promos, you know.
Yeah, so because I mean, like when he was doing Blackheart on the Indies, like that was a spot.
Yeah, I remember it was him and Joey Janela had like the ladder match or something. It's Combat Zone. He had all that stuff.
And even as recently as like New Japan of America, like 2023, 2024, he was doing that stuff and like Prestige and all that. So I think they reeled it in a little bit. I figured him and Mark would have a decent match at the very least, and I thought they did. I think Mark's somebody who you knew he would have the over-the-top reactions to the comedy. So like when he was like whispering and Mark, his eyes are lighting up and all that. And there were some good bits in there, like him doing the mimic of the cactus elbow stuff on the corner.
Yeah, it was.
But this was fun.
This is all just setting up for Cactus Jack to help my boy out. So
that's a great point.
It was a good match, though. All honesty.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
joking about it, like joking about Leo Rush. I was like, I really had no much to say about this match. It was a good TV match, and like you said, whatever gets Leo Rush on our TV.
And I still like it. It fucks me up every time he does that, like that springboard stunner, but off the bottom rope.
It's so crazy how fluent it is.
Like the physics behind that, I can't wrap my head around it.
Doesn't he put like his legs outside and like bounce?
Yeah, and I'm just like, how do you bounce back? Like he has to hit it at the right angle. I can't fathom it, bro. It looks sick every time. But
every time I see that, I just like it blows my mind, honestly.
Yeah, and even in the more kind of routine stuff, like he just did a Lope, and just the sound it made when he collided with Mark, I was like, damn, like they both too were putting everything behind their offense, and obviously the match benefited from it. But yeah, fun little TV match, cool matchup, all things considered. And we got that intense promo from Mark, and it sounds like we're going to get some sort of stipulation or just a no rules type of match.
Yeah, win probably.
I think you could do it at Forbidden Door. They might even do it on TV.
Yeah, I would say Forbidden Door because you necessarily don't have to have MJF fight another champion. You could just have the other champion on the show if you're even going to go that route. Because I assume if New Japan's champion is probably going to be tied up in the Ospreay stuff, I'm assuming.
So Newman's defending his belt at Dominion, which is on the 17th.
Against.
Well, it's a rematch with Yota Tsuji, and I kind of think Yota Tsuji might take the belt back to be champion during the G1. And you could also do a AEW challenger if they wanted to. I feel like Tsuji's somebody that I'm honestly surprised they haven't showcased too much in AEW yet. I feel like the AEW crowd would really connect with him.
Smiles a lot, right?
Yeah, he's got the.
That was the first time I can remember him. I was like, "Hey, Smiley." Okay.
Yeah, he's got the big smile and lucha influence. Like his excursion was in Mexico, so he could do a lot of cool athletic things as well. So I think he would connect with the AEW audience. I wouldn't be surprised if he's defending his belt on that show in some capacity.
And that way, it frees up their title so Callum could be involved. But I know it's going to come down to Ospreay. They're going to have to fight eventually. Yeah,
the thing is, though, I mean, it's going to be Ospreay Swerve in the final, though.
No, hold on. Isn't he a 6-man? Isn't he a champion?
Are United Empire the Never Holders right now? That's a good question.
I think it's Ospreay, Okan, and is it that other crazy dude? I can't remember his name. The bald. I thought.
Yeah, it's Ospreay, Hinari, and Okan.
Hinari is the other bald guy, like ripped dude, right? Not well, I don't know if you know.
Yeah, like with the. Forgive me if I mess this up, but the Hanori tattoos.
Yeah, I've just learned about him not too long ago because my New Japan knowledge is horrible. But
Yeah, the last New Japan thing I watched was The New Beginning, which is February, so I got a lot of catching up to do. But I'm definitely gonna watch Dominion, especially because they should announce every year they announce the G1 lineup around that show, if not during the show itself. And obviously want to be caught up for the we attend night one of the tournament. So, but yeah, really, really emotional promo from Mark. He is invoking Jay a lot and a lot of his own grief, and I never have a problem with Mark talking about that. I do, however, have reservations towards bringing that into an MJF feud, especially considering how we saw Chris Jericho use that for heat.
And MJF doesn't hold back.
Yeah, and I'm just like it's not like obviously I'm sure Mark will approve of everything, but it's almost like it not almost in actuality, it just really didn't sit right with me that Jericho used a man's death for heat and then won the feud. And I just don't see Mark Briscoe winning this feud unless like they do the Mick Foley thing. So I'm just a little concerned there.
Time will only tell, my friend.
Another in arena segment with Triangle of Madness coming down the stairs. Tekla has completely leaned into the supervillain, like totally over the top promo delivery, but I really like it. I think it's hilarious.
She's coming into her own, so I love every bit of this.
Yeah.
Spitting on the Stardom sign was funny.
Yeah, which that makes sense that they would do a Stardom challenger for her belt. I couldn't tell you who they have ready for that just because they've had quite a bit of roster turnover in the last year.
Because of the miracle thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like, I don't think they're gonna send, like, for example, like Saya Kamatani is their most popular wrestler. I don't think they're gonna send her over here to lose, so to speak. She did say that, on site she would attack any Stardom wrestler, and like Hazuki is on the road with them right now. But I don't know if they would have Hazuki lose in the Owen and then just challenge for the world title, because whoever wins the Owen gets the world title shot.
Ass backwards.
Yeah. It's just weird. I don't know, like, who they have in that main event slot for them, who they're just, like, willing to lose. Like, who they're willing to just come over and lose. We never got the Shuri run last year. Utami just signed back with them, and Utami's worked Ring of Honor. I'm trying to think of who else. Maki Ito signed. I don't know if they're going to send her over for a world title match. You know what I mean?
You mean Maki Ito, and I will love this show forever. Maki Death Club.
I mean, maybe Shuri or Azumi, because I mean Azumi's been featured on AEW quite a bit. I legitimately, like, if you ask me who they would send, I genuinely have no idea.
You have a lot more names than I would. Maki Ito, you said my name. That's who I want. It won't happen, but a guy can dream.
I used to wrestle on AEW pay-per-views before, so
that's where I got to know her from, and then I got a pizza cutter signed by her.
That's badass. Shout out Maki Death Kill, but yeah, I'm curious to see who they send for this match, because I just don't see Tekla losing that belt until Wembley at this point.
I don't even know who she would lose it to.
I got a pretty good idea.
Well, yeah, I guess now we know, right? Makes sense.
Backstage to some more Ospreay Death Riders thing, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to the dialogue, but more so of how they were interacting with him. This doesn't seem like a we're doing you a favor type thing. It really did seem like they actually care about Will Ospreay now.
Yeah, especially
like
especially Mox.
Yeah, like it's starting to feel like he's one of their own, which that's a really interesting wrinkle in all of this, because it came off of them having this heated feud to literally abducting him and being like, we're going to rebuild you from the ground up, but now it feels like he's part of that camaraderie. And that's a very, very interesting thing to do, because now it's like you're kind of setting the table for what's going to happen first. Are the Death Riders going to turn on him, or is Ospreay going to say, I don't need you anymore?
Now I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe he's just in it now. Like it's very strange.
Because they're leading in, like I said, like this ever since the Mox organic face turn. You know what I'm saying? They've been leaning into this, is he or isn't he? And now it's just more leaning more towards that. So I like it. I like where it's going.
Yeah.
I still feel like at some point the wrestling trope is one of the two is gonna happen.
We've got an Andrade squash match, which has been more and more commonplace on tapings, just to keep him relevant and on screen.
Shout out to this guy.
Yeah, he just got obliterated. But I don't mind AEW doing this because we've established earlier in the year that like they got a lot of mouths to feed, especially in this kind of main event slash upper mid card that they've established. So I would rather them do this with Andrade than like kind of give him the Roosh treatment of like we're gonna have him in a high profile match and then you're not gonna see him for X amount of months.
Like you said, I just rather keep doing it so it keeps him relevant. Same thing they did with like you said with Roosh. That's right. That's where I keep feeling like we're gonna get like an Andrade Roosh like team because they're doing very similar things with both of them.
Yeah, and even before the match, Andrade was like, "Hey, like do this for your family," and
Hyped them up. They got me hyped. Hell yeah.
I think you can do a lot there, whether they're a tag team or if they feud or whatever.
Anything. I'll go. Andrade Roosh, give me that. I'll take that.
Yeah, hell yeah. They did a similar thing with this match that they did with the first two matches where they kind of dovetailed them together. All 50 people of the Don Callis family are out there.
Just there. Yeah.
And they welcomed the 51st member.
Spirited.
Kevin Knight in the Don Callis family, Chris. Gut feeling.
He doesn't need to be in a Don Callis family with there's seven. He's going to get lost in the shuffle. But now you're throwing an interesting wrench in because Kyle Fletcher's back and he wants that TNT. You know he doesn't want his belt back. So now you're adding the belt. You're going to have more infighting. So, and you just got rid of Takeshita. So why? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever.
Speaking of, I still got to go back and watch Garcia versus Takeshita on Collision.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch Collision. I missed it.
Yeah. Live one this week, so maybe we'll see what they got in store for us. But I completely agree with your sentiment. You're not the only one alone in that sentiment of just being like, why are we doing this with the Jet? However, this is kind of my answer to all those concerns. I have faith that Kevin Knight is good enough to supersede this, like to just still stand out amongst the pack. Even if it does bog down his main event push for a little bit. I just think he's had such a great year and such a great 2 years now. And he's only getting better that I don't think this is going to limit him as much as a lot of people are afraid that it will, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I think I need to see it as like AEW tries to run with factions, gang warfare, like Mark said earlier. So I just have to. It makes sense to have him in the Don Callis family, I guess, because Don Callis is collecting Infinity Stones. But the way that they did it was kind of very anticlimactic. Also, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because if it were up to me, he would just not have. May at most a manager, but I just think he needs to just be a star on his own. Like he's that good.
Yeah, he proved it already.
And you were talking about last week how they were telegraphing the new embassy, which that could have been cool too. But that. We got this instead. I'm going to pitch something now just because it would be really cool. I say that we take the trios titles and we belt up a team of Kevin Knight, Hechicero, and Lance Archer.
Yep, let's do it. Don't say no more. Yep. Yeah, you want to see belts going in. Also, sidebar? Did you see the header for or the nameplate for Punky Vice on Collision?
No, did it say rockyandroll.bandcamp.com?
No, it said Japanese Legends for Punky Vice.
Oh, that's cool too.
But they're forgetting that Lance Archer is also a Japanese legend.
Yeah.
Don't try to flex on my boy. Like he didn't beat Mox's ass for a year straight, all right?
I mean, multiple time tag champ with what is it, the Killer Elite Death Squad?
Yeah, with Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Was part of the Suzuki-gun invasion of Noah, if I'm not mistaken, in 2014. Suzuki-gun Ichiban, right? And then multiple time IWGP US champion. Like he's trotted the globe.
Anytime Mox sniffed that belt, Archer was there to stop him. So
I can't believe we didn't get like another one during this Moxley title reign. However, if I think we're getting another John Moxley Don Callis family member match that I'm really excited for, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But
Absolutely. If it's the same one I'm thinking of.
I'm sure it is. But first
Uh-huh.
and foremost, Kevin Knight making his first defense of the TNT. Wait, that's not true. First defense of his TNT title since turning heel. That's what it is. Against his former tag team partner, Speedball Mike Bailey. This was a really fun match. They're obviously doing all kinds of crazy shit.
A lot of like,
Um,
say a lot of telegraph because they both know each other good.
Yeah, and then like I think you can argue that Kevin Knight was going to the well too many times with like a lot of the springboard stuff, which eventually like that's when Bailey was picking him out of the air and stuff like that, which was really cool. I just have one big criticism with this match, and that the question is when someone turns heel, how are they going to change their style? You know, or if they're going to change their style, right? And I think that's where a lot of the test with Kevin Knight is. How is he going to wrestle as a heel? What is he going to take out? What is he going to add? What corners are we going to cut? The problem isn't with Kevin Knight. This is where my issue with him being in the Don Callis family is because I feel like a lot of the heel stuff was just typical Don Callis interference to cheat to win. And I get that's what comes with the territory. But I don't necessarily think we got the full picture as far as heel wrestler Kevin Knight. What can he bring to the table when you're just going to have Don Callis guys run in?
Yeah, he's gonna put the shitbag heel like everyone else.
Yeah, so I want to see more of just Kevin Knight working heel, not having all these run-ins. But I thought it was funny that he called Don Callis Don Perignon.
That was great. Yeah, and then you're gonna have Doyle as your heater. Yeah,
Beast mode.
yeah. You're already my favorite.
See, I know that some people are like really tired of the Don Callis family, and I'm like, I think I could do with a break from Don Callis himself. But on paper, I mean
All of our
it's a
favorites are in that family.
yeah, like it's a sick faction. So like if it does turn into Kevin Knight, you know, having Jake Doyle as his heater, or you know, or putting him in a team with El Clone or Hechicero, like hell yeah, dude, sign me up.
And I'm trying to take it in like he's Don Callis is paying homage to Bobby the Brain Heenan. All right, so that's what I'm just trying to, so look at it that way. The good wrestling trope to have a bajillion people on your roster, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who let the dogs out?
The Bucks proving that they're still terminally online
Man,
as they
wearing the shirt.
yeah, the Super Kick cereal shirt acknowledging. Are you aware of the "What the Dog Doing" meme
I just,
with
I just thought it was a deadlock thing, but no.
So they were saying that Jey Uso getting the push based off of Yeet, the equivalent in AEW would be Nick Jackson getting a solos push with a 10-year-old meme. So they decided to meming him with "What the Dog Doing."
All right. Yeah, the first time I heard about that or that phrase was literally listening to the Deadlock podcast.
And this has turned into Nick Jackson saying "What the dog doing" on national television.
He's getting the belt.
So yeah, Nick Jackson. I guess they don't have a Royal Rumble winner. Casino Gauntlet winner at All In. I guess lock it in. But the prospect of the Young Bucks versus the Dogs is something I'm interested in. I'm assuming we might get that next week. I don't think they announced anything yet.
Black Bullet Club versus Bullet Club.
Yeah, actually.
I swear to God, Steve. You already know what
I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see
you already
it.
Know
Man.
but you already know what I'm gonna say. If he tweets it out, I'm gonna be angry.
I don't think he tweeted for Double or Nothing.
He didn't. He listened to us, but this.
I think he's like toned it down. They probably told him to stop messing with people.
They're like, hey, you coming back anytime soon? Then stop.
I mean, it's very much like Jay White to mess with people, but it is getting a bit much. Just because it's been, a good 14 months now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I miss the Switch, man.
Yeah, me too. Moving on though, MJF pre-tape
in the water.
Yeah, he's full on bathing post match, and essentially he's just no selling the whole Mark Briscoe thing, saying you're not getting your match. So I'm sure there's gonna be a tipping point where he's gonna get under his skin enough to give him the match.
Oh yeah.
But from MJF's perspective, he knows Mark Briscoe can beat him. Why is he going to give him the match? So, makes sense that we're not there yet, but because of their prior chemistry, this is like not something I'm worried about. I'm very much cool with this being the feud for now, and we'll get to the match when we get to the match.
Yeah, not really. I'm worried about that.
I was disappointed to see that your prediction for the Owen Hart Women's Tournament wasn't what they went with. I wasn't disappointed to see who the wild card was, but I think your idea was a lot more interesting by having Jamie Hayter take the spot.
Yeah, but
instead, we got Mercedes Moné, and do you think that this is like a break glass in case of emergency scenario? Because it's not like she was healthy. She was just taking a break,
chilling. She was, like we said last week, she was flying around, defending belts in different countries, different day, like damn near every day, you know. So I absolutely do think this was like, hey, help. Like,
looking at the bracket though, I'm really not mad because I'm gonna take a wild guess that she's just gonna at the very least go to the final. But
I'm thinking her and Athena, right?
So spoilers, Mercedes did win her match, but when you look at the other side of the bracket, she lost to Persephone recently in Mexico, and she had a couple of matches with Hazuki, both like a couple of three-ways and a singles match with Hazuki over the years. Like basically since she left WWE, she's wrestled Hazuki, I think at least like 2023, 24, and 25. She's wrestled Hazuki at least once. So they could always run that back too. But what I'm more intrigued with is on the other side of the bracket, because we got a taste of Mercedes Athena last year, and it was fucking incredible. Like, it was great. But we haven't gotten Sorry Mercedes yet, and I think that would be perfect for Forbidden Door.
Makes sense, too. Right, because is Sorry signed to AEW?
She's freelance. Yeah, after she left WWE herself, like a year before. No, was it a year before? It was the same year, actually, 2023. She's just been worked independently. She got brought in as Marigold's first champion. She did majority of last year in Stardom, but I don't believe she ever signed. She was just brought in per appearance to the tournaments and all that, and was IWGP champion for a while. But because Mercedes hasn't worked Japan in a long time, and Sari hasn't been in the States, like they've been like two ships in the night, you know what I mean? So I think if you did want to do something really special, at the same time though, I don't know how I feel about them bringing in a guest to beat Athena, but if you do it right, I can still see it happening, because like Sari is a very violent individual. Like, she can match Athena's intensity, and I cannot wait for that match. I'm assuming. I highly doubt they're no offense to Sky Blue, but like, Sky
Blue. I told Josh, I was like, Sky Blue got the shit out of the stick with this one.
Yeah, like it should not be close. Like, Sari should beat her decisively, to say the least. But I'm really, it's as strange as it sounds. As much as I would have liked to see how they would have done Hayter coming into the tournament and all these other things, the prospect of what the final actually is incredibly interesting now. So I'm locked in on this bracket. Unfortunately, I didn't think that Mercedes versus Alex Windsor was anything special.
Yeah.
I think
I got nothing to write home about this match, by the way.
I preferred their match last year in the ECW arena.
I will say I am happy to see Mercedes back.
Yeah, me too. I honestly think this was probably just shaking off the rust, because even though she's been healthy, you know, like when you're not working all the time, you know, you just got to get back into the swing of things. What was interesting to me is because she was very much, anybody who comes back from long absence is going to have a warm reception. But this whole rumor was behind her, but it's like, no, she's still healed.
Yeah, but they were champions.
I would have just said, I think it's time that she goes babyface, especially if she wins the tournament to wrestle Tekla.
Yeah, I think that's when the swap happened. So.
I'm cool with that. I just thought in the moment, I'm like, okay, cool, she won, and then she kept holding on to the submission hold, and then she kept going with the submission hold, and then she just took the belt with her. From a character perspective, though, I do like that idea of, like, now that she doesn't have any belts, she's just going to take them, because it's almost like, you know, she doesn't feel like herself without a belt, because she had 30 of them last year.
There was a part on there, I forgot what caused it to happen, but the camera looked at her, and then She goes, I'm okay. I went to therapy. I'm good. And she stood back up so she didn't crash out. I chuckled at that point.
The one thing that is announced for Collision is Ty J versus Divine Dominion, which you said if Ty J win, then you're writing the belts off entirely, correct?
If they win those belts on that, I don't care about those belts anymore. Sorry.
Something I thought that was interesting though was the next segment where Okada's still talking about Takeshita. I feel like they should just move on from it personally, but I don't know. You tell me.
What are they, 1-1? Where's the record?
Yeah, 1-1.
They're probably running one more just to have the trope and then have Takeshita win the final. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
But I agree though too. Like, let it go. If we're gonna do the Fletch thing, let's do the Fletch thing. I'd rather see Proto Sheeta wrestle against each other. Not at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point though, like that's got to be a match that they definitely have down the road. That's a big match at this point. So, a couple more things here on tonight's show. First being the Ciampa Jericho stuff, which I'm just kind of like
I tuned out of this
whatever.
Too, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I thought it was funny that he did the list bit, but it's like the Malenko Jericho callback. But I'm like, whatever. Maybe the match will be fine. Maybe it won't. I just have a hard time getting invested. But then we get to the main event: Mark Davis versus Will Ospreay. Winner goes to Forbidden Door, and kind of a full circle thing here. I actually like how they booked this because Ospreay comes back, Davis beats the shit out of him, so now it's him after all these trials and tribulations with the Death Riders. If he can beat the man who, shockingly beat Ospreay decisively. That doesn't happen very often.
That match kicked ass too.
Yeah, that was a really cool match. These two just have good chemistry, and who would have thought, considering they've known each other for forever, going back to Brit Rest, stuff like that in the 2010s. But Ospreay bumping incredibly well, that's no surprise. Mark trying to target the neck, which I liked, and I feel like under different circumstances they would have just said, okay, yeah, just pile drive Will Ospreay's neck onto the apron and it won't matter. But no, like they got around it with like the Hurricane Rana and stuff like that. I tend to agree with you. You said this one maybe went a little too long. I just think this kind of got off the rails with the run-ins, personally.
I think that's what lost me was all the run-ins. Like you could have had a good match with all the stuff they did, but then the run-ins came and it's deteriorated from the match for me. Like it was a good match, don't get me wrong. It's just too long. And then they ran in overtime doing it, and I was already kind of tapped out at that point.
I will play devil's advocate. I don't hate the idea of what they did with all the run-ins, particularly because it wasn't like they just sent Yuta and Garcia out there. It was like Claudio made the save, and then even Marino is getting involved. And then the biggest point, though, for me was that Jon Moxley was there to even the odds for Will Ospreay. That's the whole crux of the issue, right?
Yeah.
And we got a Jon Moxley, Jake Doyle stare down, which we need that match yesterday.
I saw that and I said yes, and then I thought of another one.
What do you got?
Claudio. They already give me Claudio Doyle. Yeah, give me that too while we're at it.
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, the run-ins were all over the place. Even like Takeshita got involved at one point. Him, which again you're talking about the Fletcher Takeshita match. This might get you there faster. Swag Lord Lance Archer with the blue braids was taking bumps.
That's right. You heard us, Josh. Swag Lord.
Hey, he's the one bumping an $800 pair of jeans, man. What can I say?
Out there, I said, "Oh, he's not taking that bump," and he took a bump. I said, "He's taking a."
They said his contract's up in June, so let's just assume he's signed.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to go anywhere else.
I'll start tagging him with our podcast and let him know we are the #1 Lance Archer riding podcast.
Dude, I hope he gets booked on that Warrior show. At the block party.
I will give him a sticker. I'll be, hey man, check.
We gotta get a picture with him. That's gonna be the graphic bump for the show.
Everything's just gonna be that.
As far as I can tell, the only things confirmed for Saturday's Collision is Hazuki versus Persephone, which would be really cool. I still I have to go see Hazuki versus Maya World from last week, but and then the women's tag team title match. But after a bunch of hidden blades, Ospreay would win. punching his ticket to Forbidden Door, and he will face the winner of Swerve Strickland versus Brody King next week, which they're branding a summer blockbuster, but thank God it's not like the 4-hour thing they did last year.
Right.
They are doing Collision on Thursday, so
at that point I would be like, hey man, we're gonna do our podcast anyway on Wednesday and just cover fill in the blanks.
Yeah, well, we could have the second 2 hours in the background and just pipe in, but
be like, hey man, this is what's going on now.
Yeah, first ever live pod, but yeah, as long as I have my shit together, because this was supposed to be recorded Wednesday night, we should be back in our groove going forward. I just gotta get my act together on that end. But yeah, this was an easy watch. Like I said, that even though maybe there's more segments than I remembered, but it all kind of flew by. There was no matches that I was like offended by, and I thought like the opener, the main event, and Speedball Kevin Knight were all really good, and then even the Briscoe Leo Rush match was a lot of fun. Maybe just a little let down by Mercedes Alex Windsor, but again, it's Mercedes' first time in an AEW ring since December? It's a long time off, and even if she's wrestled elsewhere, it's like you're not working all the time. 2 rings aren't the same, you know what I mean? You go work one place, you go work another place. You get all kind of things between surface area, rope tension, a whole bunch of other shit that I know nothing about. So I think that was more of her just getting back into the flow of things. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite, Chris.
It was a good, like I said, good show. After reviewing it, I still say that the MJF match is my match of the night.
Yeah, I think so too for me.
But Leo Rush's Speedball was solid. The main event solid. Just like you said, like we both said, the run-ins and the timing was just too long and too many run-ins. But everything else in between was solid. I'm hoping we get a little bit more clarity on some Forbidden Door, but it looks like we got a little bit of pathway there.
Oh, and I totally missed the bullet point on my Roosh MJF stuff. Good selling of the arm by Roosh. Like, he actually really stuck with it leading up to the finish, which actually, hey, again, all makes sense. If you're going to trust anybody to have a good match on Dynamite, it's probably Roosh. So
yeah,
I'm with you, man. Yeah, like I said, only things announced for next week are Swerve Brody King, which we really liked their first match, just didn't like the one fall or the one count. And Sky Blue Sorry, so if you've not seen Sorry, you're about to see Sorry. And
Sky Blue's
if they're gonna
Sorry.
Yeah, if they're gonna present her how she's been presented on the Independents and Stardom and Marigold, yeah, she is a killer with a capital K. So look out.
Yep.
But with that being said, Chris, you got anything to plug?
Got nothing, my friend. Not this time.
Same here. I'm still watching a ton of footage before I get another YouTube video out. So in the meantime, that's all we got. Tune in next week for the summer blockbuster edition of AEW Dynamite, and as we embark on our next 50 episodes of the Underhook Show.
And more Zona reviews from your boy.
Yeah, more Zona and any Fishman matches from various Mexican indies. We'll keep you posted. But for Steve and for Chris, if you got this far into the episode, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.
See ya.